I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. Following the mishap in Iowa's Democratic caucus, there are naturally questions about how Florida plans to hold its primary. John Arking reports.
Florida will hold a presidential preference primary March 17th. Katie Lenhart is the Flagler County Supervisor of Elections.
So it's basically how I like to explain it is Florida's message to the world on who we want in Florida to be the president. So it's an important election. It's not exactly the same as, we're not really electing the president in this election, but it is the first step of the process to elect a president. And every state will have a presidential preference primary. Some states have a caucus. Our election is on St. Patrick's Day. All these elections in all the different states, that sends a message to the delegates for the Republican National Committee, the Democratic National Committee, and those conventions in the summer. That's where they make the decision on what the actual presidential nominee will be and who that will be, and who that will be on the ballot in November.
On March 17th, Lenhart says it's important to remember only registered Republicans can vote for Republicans and registered Democrats can vote for Democrats, while independent voters cannot participate. Lenhart says February 18th is the deadline for residents to be registered as either a Democrat or a Republican. But that only applies for the upcoming presidential preference primary, not the August primary ballot nor the November general election. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arden.
Keep in their knickers.
That was Flagler County Commissioner Greg Hansen's advice to Flagler County Airport Director Roy Seeger, who could soon be staring down a lawsuit from residents who've long complained about noise at the airport. Hansen was among those who questioned Seeger at a recent advisory committee meeting on how collaboratively he's worked with flight schools to try to cut down on the noise.
Bring all those flight school owners and Embry-Riddle in for a meeting and just say, look, you guys are going to ruin a good thing here. If you like flying out of our airport, please do the following. Give them a piece of paper. This is what I want you to do. Please do this, or you're going to lose your ability to fly here.
Seeger says he sent a letter out 2 months ago about no touch-and-go traffic at night.
It was just reminding them that our airport is, right in the middle of a neighborhood. And one of the things that I said was working with the Airport Advisory Board. I sent them some comments, what I was looking at doing, and then they sent some back to me as well. Have I got them back out yet? No, I have not. Actually, I was waiting once this came up. I was waiting to see what the outcome of this meeting was.
Hansen pushed harder.
Part of your job is to make yourself a nuisance to those flight schools. Be in their shorts all the time. You guys aren't following the rules. Please follow the rules. And I mean, if you got to contact those guys every month, don't let them forget that we're not happy.
Hansen also called for a noise abatement plan from the airport. Sheriff Rick Staley is crediting the public for seeing something and saying something, as well as good old-fashioned police work with leading to a theft arrest. Deputies say the victim had a red and white motorcycle stolen from a garage on Bressler Lane Sunday, and they posted photos of it on Facebook. That led to several tips from members of the community who said they saw 2 teenage boys riding around in it. Deputies tracked the location to Breeze Hill Lane, where they said they questioned 16-year-old Donovan McLeod, who claimed a friend brought the motorbike over and he had no idea it had been stolen. Police say a second social media tip took them to Bayside Drive, where there were reports of a boy riding the motorcycle in public. Deputies found it parked along the side of the house, along with texts from McLeod telling his friend to hide the bike in some nearby woods. Deputies say McLeod ultimately admitted to stealing the motorcycle. The search for a new superintendent for Flagler schools presses onward. Tony Magoo has an update.
Flagler County School Board is pleased to announce 35 applicants have qualified to advance to the next step in the search process for the next superintendent at Flagler County Schools. The national search has attracted candidates from across the country. With us is Jason Wheeler, Community Information Specialist with Flagler Schools. Jason, what was the breakdown on candidates?
9 are current superintendents. We have 5 former superintendents, and 19 of these applicants indicate they have doctorate degrees.
The school board opted to have some help with the vetting process.
They do have some help. They have a Citizens Advisory Committee, which is made up of a number of volunteers from our community representing different facets of Flagler County.
The district is excited to have so many qualified candidates identified for consideration by the district as the next person to lead, educate, and empower students for excellence in Flagler schools and beyond.
The hope, obviously, is to get a new superintendent in place by Tuesday, March 10th.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
The Florida House Judiciary Committee is trying to fix the state's bad reputation. Florida has a bad reputation as being one of the worst litigation climates in the country.
24th District State Representative Paul Renner said that means that when somebody files an insurance claim, the costs get passed on to everybody.
When a handful of people are overcharging, for example, a homeowner's policy, that goes along to increase rates to everyone.
Renner said that those who've already paid insurance premiums for their lifetime and never made a claim will still see an increase because of that handful who's gouging the ratepayers. To listen to the latest with Representative Paul Renner, download the Flagler radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, should politicians be armed? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.